Hi, friends. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome to Get Your Play Online. My name is Michelle, and today I am going to teach you how to do a little bit of a science experiment, but we're going to be making rainbows 2 different ways. So we're going to learn how to grow our own rainbow using a paper towel, some markers, and some water. This is what mine turned out like. So if you want to learn how to make this, then just keep watching. After we grow our own rainbow, we are going to watch a chemical reaction happen with some baking soda and some vinegar, and we're going to make a fizzy rainbow with some food coloring. So let's go ahead and get started with growing our own rainbow. What you're going to need are some washable markers. I have these skinny markers, but you can really use any like washable Crayola markers, like the thicker ones. Really any marker you have that's washable. So do not use a permanent marker. It won't work for this. Next, we are going to need 2 glasses of water. You want to fill these a little more than halfway with water. It can be a plastic cup, it can be a glass cup, it can be a mason jar. Just make sure that you're filling up the cup with water a little bit more than halfway. That's the best way to get your rainbow to grow. And then lastly, of course, we're going to need some paper towels. Definitely one will work, but I have a few over here off to the side just in case things get messy. So I'm going to move you guys down so you can see a little bit better what I'm going to do here. All right, so let's get started. I have my paper towel, and this is just 1 sheet of a paper towel. I am going to rip this paper towel in half. I do have the paper towels that come in these like square sheets. So you want to kind of just rip a regular paper towel in half. If we make the paper towel too long, it's not going to work and our rainbow is not really going to fully form. So you want to make sure you can either cut it or rip it. Paper towels are pretty easy to rip. So you can make it about this size. It doesn't have to be a perfect square. We just want it a little bit shorter than a regular paper towel length. So now that you have your paper towel shortened up a little bit, we are going to fold it in half. Okay, just once, and it does not have to be perfect. So now I have my folded paper towel. Now we're going to get our markers out. And I'm gonna go for more of a traditional rainbow, like the kind you would probably see in nature outside. Honestly, you can use any colors you want. I know pink looks really cute in a rainbow, but these are the colors I'm using today because I would like to stick to a little bit more of a traditional look to my rainbow. So I'm gonna place my markers over here off to the side. So if you guys know anything about rainbows, we are going to go in the Roy G. Biv order. So the first color I'm going to pick up is my red. So I'm going to just move my paper towel up here so you can guys see a little bit better. We're going to be drawing a couple of almost what look like bricks on this paper towel. We're going to use a lot of ink, okay? Like really saturate your paper towel with this marker. Go over it a few times, and we're just going to make a little tiny square on the bottom of our paper towel. So I've done this in red. You wanna give it a couple coats, and you can even see on the back that the marker is coming through. And if you're working on a table, maybe you can place something down underneath so it doesn't get on your table. Okay, so we have our red on this side. Now we are going to flip and we're going to draw our red on the opposite side. Make sure that your colors are gonna line up. So if they were looking at a mirror, in a mirror at each other, they're on the same side, they're in the same location, just opposite sides of the paper towel. I think you'll understand a little bit more once I fill in the rest of the colors. So let's go ahead and get some more colors on this paper towel. Next, we're going with orange. We're gonna do the same exact thing. Make sure you really coat your paper towel. It's going right next to the red, okay? And it's okay if it gets on the back. Just remember, like I said, you might wanna put something down if you're working on like a table or something you don't wanna get messy. All right, so we have red and orange. And they are right next to each other, just like this. There's no space in between my colors, and they are nice and dark, nice and saturated. So now we're going in with some yellow. Same thing, I'm gonna put my yellow right next to the orange. I'm gonna give it a few good coats. We wanna make sure our colors are lined up in the same spot, opposite of each other. So now you should have something like this. So to make it easier, you can kind of press them together just to make sure that they're really lining up on the same spots. Now we're going in with some green. I know that this green is gonna bleed into my yellow just a little bit, just because I already practiced this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it a little tiny bit further away from my yellow so that that green doesn't eat up my yellow. So now we have green on both sides. Okay, moving right along, we're going for blue. And this is a little bit of a smaller paper towel, so I'm only going to go with one blue. Usually in a more of a natural rainbow, you have a light blue and a darker blue called indigo. But I'm just gonna go with this nice medium colored blue because we really don't have that much space on my paper towel to put two different blues. So I'm going to add this medium color blue right next to my green. And you can see it kind of comes out a little bit darker on this paper towel than it would on some paper. So we're going to do it on both sides. All right, and then last I have a purple or violet. Violet is kind of the more scientific name for purple. So grab any purple you like. It can be a light purple, a dark purple. We're putting it right up against that blue. Okay, so since purple is gonna be my last color, I do wanna make sure that my purple is on the very edge of the paper towel. And as you can see, I kind of did this a little crooked. So I'm gonna go in back over this red and give it just a little bit more color. We wanna make sure that the paper towel is really, really saturated in marker. Otherwise our rainbow won't reach all the way. So I'm just going back in with my red and I'm touching it up just a tiny bit just to make sure there's enough ink from the marker on my paper towel, especially on this side. All right. So now that we're done coloring our rainbow, you should have a little something that looks like this. All the colors mirror each other and they are going from top to bottom and they're definitely saturated because you can see it on the other side of the paper towel. So now we're going to take our 2 glasses of water. And disclaimer, I do have a little glass to the side with some extra just in case this is not full enough, okay? But really, if you fill it more than halfway, you should be good. So we're gonna take our little paper towel and we're kind of going to bend it a little bit to get it ready to make that beautiful arch. Okay, so I'm bending it. I'm not really gonna crease it too hard. Just kind of bend it a little bit in the middle so it looks like a V. And here is where the magic happens. We're going to dip just the very, very edge of the paper towel in the water. You do not want the paper towel to sink all the way to the bottom. That's why we have like a shorter paper towel. And that's why we filled up our water a little bit higher so that the paper towel doesn't have to go all the way down to get to the water. So we're going to dip both of our sides of the paper towel with marker into the water, and you can watch the magic happen. It looks like our marker is traveling all the way up to meet in the middle. This is how you grow your own rainbow. And this is going to take just a few minutes to actually seep all the way in. So while we're waiting for this to finish, we're gonna go ahead and start our next activity. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 glasses off to the side, and we're gonna get ready to make a fizzy rainbow. All right, we're moving our glasses off to the side. And I'm going to get all the materials ready for my fizzy rainbow. All right, so I have a tray with everything already laid out for me. I just want to quickly show you what I have so you can prepare your materials too. So again, I have some paper towels here off to the side, just in case I have some spilling or make a mess. It's always a good thing to kind of prepare to, wipe up any messes, especially because we have food coloring here. So I have my paper towels off to the side. They are ready if I make a mess. We have some baking soda. We also have some vinegar. Pretty much any vinegar will work. This one is distilled white vinegar. And to make our rainbow colors, we have some food coloring. So this experiment, you can use a little dropper like this, but it's okay if you don't have a dropper because it works just as well if you use a spoon too. So let's go ahead and set up our different rainbow colors. I have these clear bowls with me so you guys can see the colors. You can use any bowl or dish that you have, but I really wanted you guys to be able to see the colors inside the dish. So that's why I chose these. And I have 4 little bowls because I have 4 different colors of my food coloring. So first, I'm going to show you how to mix up the food coloring and the vinegar. We're going to just set our baking soda off to the side. We're not going to touch it just yet. All right. I'm also going to set my spoon and my eyedropper off to the side as well. So let's start with the vinegar. You don't have to do any measuring for this. You can kind of just eyeball it. If you're gonna need some help pouring, definitely ask mom or dad for some help so we don't make too much of a mess and waste any vinegar. So let's go ahead and open it. And first, right off the bat, you can definitely tell that this vinegar has a really strong smell. That's okay, and vinegar will not stain. The smell goes away very quickly. I just wanted to note that when you're conducting a science experiment, it's okay to use all of your senses to observe what's happening. So right now we are using our sense of smell. We're really getting a good whiff of that vinegar. So be careful when you're pouring, but we're just going to pour enough vinegar in here so that we can kind of get a good coating on the bottom. It might be hard to see, but I've poured maybe about 1/4 of a cup. You can fill it up a little bit more. It just depends on how much baking soda you're going to end up using. So we're going to put some vinegar in all 4 of our bowls. Alrighty, I have a pretty good amount of vinegar in all of my bowls. I'm gonna put my vinegar off to the side because we are all done with that. Now is when we mix in the food coloring. I have a few different colors here. I have yellow, red, blue, and green. So when you're gonna mix this, you really do not need a lot of food coloring. I would say about 3 to 4 drops will probably be enough. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have our blue, and here I'm taking my spoon to mix the food coloring into the vinegar. And here is where paper towels come in. I'm gonna place a paper towel down so that I can wipe off my spoon in between mixing all my colors. Now I'm just gonna start my green. 1, 2, 3. All right, make sure you get all that color off your spoon if this is what you're using to mix, because we really don't want to be mixing blue and green. It's gonna make kind of a muddy color. So now we have our green. Let me scoot these back. Maybe that might be easier for y'all to see. All right, now I'm gonna mix up my red. 1, 2, 3. And you can tell you really don't need a lot of food coloring to make a really beautiful, bright color. This food coloring I have is pretty old, but I believe it's a water-based. It's not any kind of special gel-based food coloring or anything. So I'm actually going to give my red a couple more drops because I'm noticing that it looks a little bit orange. So in my red, I've placed 5 drops. And we are mixing it up. All right, back to my paper towel because I really don't want any red to get into my yellow. So last I have my yellow. And this is another one I'm gonna give a couple extra drops to because we really want the yellow to be a little bit more vibrant. All right, so I actually just put 4 drops of yellow and mix it up. Perfect. Okay, we have all of our food coloring ready. So this vinegar is what is going to react with our baking soda and make some fizz and some really cool texture and sound on top of the baking soda. So I'm using this plastic tray that I have for arts and crafts to pour my baking soda onto. You can use a plate, a bowl, you can even use a baking dish or, one of those disposable aluminum baking dishes, mom or dad, so you have a little bit more of an easier cleanup. I just really like this plastic one because I can just rinse it off and reuse it. But mom or dad, if you're helping your little ones with this one, the throwaway aluminum trays that you use for cooking are a really easy option if you just want to have a quick mess-free clean. So now that we have all of our food coloring and vinegar mixed, we're going to go ahead and pour some baking soda out onto our tray. And like I said, if you don't have any of these things, you can really just use a plate or a bowl. It doesn't matter what kind of material it is. Just make sure you have a little bit of a flat surface so that when you drop your vinegar onto the baking soda, it really absorbs all of that vinegar. So I'm going to pour a pretty good amount of baking soda. This is where we need to be careful again because these boxes can really dump out a lot and we don't want to use too much. We don't want to be wasteful, but we do want to have a big area where we can be creative with our colors. So I'm just kind of pouring some out and you'll notice that there are some clumps, but that is okay. All right, so I have a pretty good amount on here and you can just go and press down all your clumps. You want your baking soda to be in a really even layer. Okay, so press out all your clumps. And as you're touching the baking soda, go ahead and use your sense of touch to kind of feel the texture of the baking soda, because the vinegar is going to totally change the texture. It's going to be really cool to watch, to observe, and to feel. So now I'm just making sure that I have a nice even layer of baking soda. There's no clumps and we're really spread out. Okay, press, press, press. Press, press, press. All right, I think I'm ready to start pouring my vinegar on. This is why we call it a fizzy rainbow. If you've never seen vinegar and baking soda interact before, it's gonna be really, really cool. So here I'm just taking my dropper, and like I said earlier, if you don't have a dropper like this, it's okay. You can use a spoon and it'll work just as well. So I think I'm going to go in with blue first. So I'm going to squeeze my dropper, place it in the vinegar, and let go. My dropper holds the vinegar, and we're just going to pour it over the baking soda. And you can really hear the fizzles. So you can be as creative as you want with this activity. You can make a pattern in your baking soda. You can draw your name, you can draw a shape. I'm gonna try and draw a heart in mine. I think it's so cool to be able to be a little bit creative with these rainbow colors, but you're also still watching a really cool physical reaction happen with the vinegar and the baking soda. So it's like kind of combining two of my favorite things. We have science and we have creative arts all in one. Ooh. So I've made a little heart with mine. I would love to see your creations posted to Facebook or our Instagram. If you think you made a really cool design and you want to show us your fizzy rainbow, definitely share it. We would love to see what you guys create. So now I am just gonna take my paper towel again, just do a little wipe off of my dropper. And I think I'm gonna go in with some yellow. And I'm just gonna make dots everywhere, all over my baking soda. All right, how about some red? And if you really wanna get experimental, we all know that red and blue mixed together makes a new color called purple. So I can kind of see a little bit of a tinge of purple when I'm mixing my red and blue together, but it kind of does get a little bit muddy. So now I'm just adding some more drops of red. I'm gonna go into my green and I'm gonna try and make a smiley face. Ooh. So cute. How about a smiley face up here so you guys can see it from your point of view? It kind of looks like a silly face, not really a smiley face. There we go. Can you see my green smiley face? All right. Last, I think I'm gonna go in with some more blue. Blue is my favorite color, so I really wanna have a lot of this color on my fizzy rainbow creation. All right. And you can put as much color as you want. You can use up all the baking soda on your tray. Once the vinegar touches the baking soda, it's not really gonna make a reaction anymore. So just fill up all the white space as much as you want. Cute. Actually, I think I'm gonna go back in one more time with some green because I really love the way that the green looks next to the blue. Cute. And you can see that I do have a lot of leftover. So when you're pouring out your vinegar, kind of keep in mind how many times you might want to do this activity, because you're not really going to want to save this. You're going to want to clean out these bowls pretty quick. So I really did pour a little bit too much, but that's okay. You can clean off this baking soda and just pour some more and use up all your vinegar. I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for now because it looks like I've used up most of my baking soda with the vinegar. And the last thing I want to kind of point out to you guys is that the vinegar totally changed the texture of the baking soda. This is one of the coolest things to watch during a little science experiment like this, is how did the materials change? What kind of reaction happened? So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna touch my baking soda, and I'm gonna feel the difference between the wet and the dry. And you can also totally tell the difference too. The baking soda that has vinegar on top has some holes in it. And of course it does have that color. So this is a good little sensory experience to add on after you're done creating your fizzy rainbow masterpiece. You can kind of go in and play with the texture. It's a little bit satisfying, kind of like slime. And you can kind of draw in it too. So I'm gonna draw a happy face for you guys. All right, I think I'm all done with my vinegar. This is my vinegar and baking soda. This is going to be really easy cleanup, mom and dad, or older kiddos who are cleaning this up. Just run some warm water over your tray, dump out your vinegar for sure, dump it down the sink, and then give it a good rinse with soap and warm water. Super easy cleanup, super fun. You can do it over and over again. So now that we're all done with our baking soda and vinegar, fizzy rainbows, let's go check on our paper towel that we did earlier. All right, I'm gonna grab my glasses and show you guys what happened to my paper towel. Look at that. Our marker colors went all the way across and met each other in the middle. So this is I'm so sorry about that. I think I lost my Wi-Fi. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, I think I'm back on. I'm so sorry about that, you guys. I think I lost my internet connection, but we're almost done. So I'm just gonna wrap it up really quickly for you guys. I want to show you the end result of our little paper towel rainbow. So this is what she looks like. I think we might have left in a little bit too long in the water, but that's okay because we still have this really beautiful color in the middle. And I like to leave these out to dry, kind of like on a windowsill or maybe on a table with a paper towel. And you can do so many cool things with these paper towels. You can let it dry and maybe draw a picture over it. Maybe you could cut it up and glue it inside of a card for Mother's Day. There's really so many things you can do once these little paper towels dry. They're so easy to make. And I would also love to see your paper towel rainbow creations too, if you want to add those onto social media and tag Get Your Play Online. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you have fun with these rainbow activities. And I hope to see you all soon. Thanks so much.